Welcome, hello, hi, what's up fam? It's me, James again. How are you? Welcome to this video about modals. I hope you find it helpful, and if you like it, please remember to subscribe to the channel and tell all your friends and family, strangers, enemies, anyone. It's up to you. And so, let's make a start. Yes, this is new. Tip of the day, English sense of humour. It's night time. My tip of the day is English is not maths. Yes, English is not maths. And what I suppose this means is it's not a question of right or wrong often. It's a question of what makes sense. What's good? What's better? Subjective. People, you decide. And so, take a chance. Here we go. In the present, we use different modal verbs. Modal verbs are like helping words. They change the meaning of the verbs. And so we end up with possibility. If we want to say something's possible or impossible or probable, unlikely, we use these words. Let's have a look. May, might, and could. So, they may know. It's possible. Now, 50%, you see, English is not maths. Of course, it depends on how you say it. If you say it with meaning, then it may be more than 50%. And if you say it sarcastically, it may be a lot less. They may know. They might know. They could know. Remember, could is about ability. It's used a lot as possibility, but it's really about ability. He may be asleep. He might be asleep. He could be asleep. She may be sleeping. She might be sleeping. She could be sleeping. All possible. When we have a reason for thinking that something is probable or very likely or unlikely, which is the opposite, we use she must be asleep. This is the logic. We think, she's quiet and she said she was tired, so probably she's asleep. She must be asleep. Or if it's not likely, we can say she can't be asleep. Her light's still on and I can hear music. So unlikely she's asleep, but it's possible. So we come to the practice. The practice. A few sentences for you. Has anyone seen David? I think he... Now, remember, sometimes more than one is possible. Sometimes quite a lot are possible. In this case, I think may, might, or could. Remember, could is about ability, but he can go to the bar and order a round of drinks. A round of drinks is a drinks for everybody. He said he saw the Queen yesterday, but I think, probably kidding. Kidding means joking, making fun. And so, do we remember? Of course. It's must. Yes, it is. I think Tatiana be coming tonight, but I'm not sure. So this is possibility, isn't it? So I think we've got a choice of things here. Yes, it's our old friends, may, might, could. I think Tatiana may be coming tonight, might be coming tonight, could be coming tonight, are all possible, and they express possibility. She be coming, it's nearly 8:30 and she said she would be here at 7, so this is unlikely, isn't it? And so do you remember? Of course you do. She can't be coming. It's nearly 8:30 and she said she would be here at 7, and we're losing logic here to say something is very unlikely. Next, they decide to visit the National Portrait Gallery at the weekend. Now, a couple possible here. What do you think? It's possible, isn't it? They may or might decide to visit. Could decide sounds strange, but maybe you hear people say it. Remember, English is not. Mathematics. Will you walk to Kingston and back? You, probably exhausted. You must be exhausted, of course. I do my homework this evening. Then again, I not. This is possibility, isn't it? So I think probably may, might, both good. Then again, I, may, might. Could sounds strange here because I could not. No, we don't talk about this in this way. And so may and might, I think we keep it the same. So I may do my homework this evening. Then again, I may not. I might do my homework this evening. Then again, I might not. This sounds good to me. And lastly, he's not answering his phone, so probably he must. Pierre must still be working because he's not answering his phone. And so the next bit, the past. How do we express possibilities in the past? Well, I'll tell you. Now, may, might, could, present perfect, or present perfect continuous. And so we have You may have hurt yourself. It was possible in the past that you might have hurt yourself. You might have hurt yourself. You could have hurt yourself. And remember, could also has this idea about ability. Then, if we have a reason for thinking something, we use our logic, our deduction, maybe. Then we use these words. So there's a bit to remember here, but let's have a go. Probable. They should have, they ought to have arrived. They should have arrived, and notice I have used the contraction, the apostrophe VE, because this is how people speak most of the time. They should have arrived in New York. This is logic. They ought to have arrived. Well, yes, ought to is possible. You don't hear it so much, but it is possible. They must have arrived. I'm fairly sure, almost 100%. Not likely. They can't have left. He can't have left even. Mistakes are good. Logic, his house keys are still here, so he can't have left. He couldn't have got the message. He hasn't called back, and he's usually reliable. He couldn't have been listening. Logic, he doesn't know what's going on. Sounds like me most of the time. And so, practice, folks. Past possible modal verbs. Do you remember them? Of course you do. She's very late. I think she... Of course. May have, might have got lost. May have, and I've used the spoken form here, the contraction. May've, might have, May've, might have. I think she may have got lost. I tried calling Leo, but he didn't pick up. He didn't answer his phone. He been listening to music on full volume, so I think definite he must have been listening. Must have, shortened to must have. This is the spoken pronunciation form. I think Abdullah and Alice gone home. Their coats aren't here. Must have gone home. Yeah, their coats aren't here. They've probably gone. They must have gone home. You been paying attention, otherwise you would know the answer. Well, what do you think? Can't have, couldn't have. You can't have been paying attention. You couldn't have been paying attention, otherwise you would know the answer. We gone out last night, but we decided to stay in. Possibility in the past. We could have gone out last night, but we decided to stay in and watch Netflix. Muhammad didn't eat much cake, so... logic. He can't have or couldn't have been very hungry, or he's on a diet. They been here for over 2 hours. I wonder if they're stuck in traffic. They should have, ought to have been here over 2 hours ago. I don't know what time I got in last night, but there's a few here, but I'm going to go for this one. Must have. It might have been after midnight, but it sounds to me like someone came home very late, and so I think this makes sense, but it must have been after midnight. Moving on, folks, to the future. Future's a good place. And so, when people want to say something is possible in the future, we use this lot. It may, it might, our old friends. It could. I'll probably be a bit late. I shall probably be a bit late. I shall be late this evening. And so, we use shall on its own, often with I and we, meaning 80%, with probably. I shall be late this evening, 100%, and we don't hear shall so much, but it is possible. You will hear it sometimes. So, there we go. When people have reason for thinking something is probable in the future, we use should and ought to again. But this time, he should be and ought to be. So, he should be here soon. Logic, he lives just around the corner. Or he ought to be here soon. Probably. So, it's practice time, folks. Here we go. Use the best forms, and remember, sometimes more than one is possible. So, bring your umbrella. I think it rain this afternoon. I think it may, might, could, will rain this afternoon. May and might, possibility. Maybe 50-50, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. Could, same. And ability. And will, well, this is more certain, isn't it? Depends. 70-80%, maybe more. They probably be hungry and tired after their long walk. They'll probably be, they shall probably be hungry and tired after their walk. The traffic's really bad because of the rugby. The traffic's really bad because of the rugby, but they should, ought to be here soon. Is probable. Could you remind me to call my brother? I may, might, will forget otherwise. So my mate, my mate, may, might, 50%-ish, kind of. Will, more certain, forget. I be home late tonight, so don't wait up. There's a few here. What do you think? I may be, I might be, I'll be home, I shall be home, I may be home, I might be home. So I will, I shall is more certain, I may, I might, less certain. Chloe has worked really hard for her exams, so she... Yes, of course. Should do really well or ought to do really well. Both good. I'm not sure if Poundland sells exercise books. There's a few here. What do you think? Well, I'll tell you what I think. You may, you might, or you should is more definite. If you practice every day, you be surprised by your progress. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You may, you might, you could, you will be surprised by your progress. And there we have it, folks. Another wonderful video. And so it's me saying ta-ta from lovely London.